This is the Pastor's Coach with award-winning, best-selling author, Dr. Dave Williams. Encouragement and guidance for today's pastor. And now, here's Dave.
Welcome to the Pastor's Coach. Today we're going to take a look at what to do during those painful times of sifting every church experiences. Times of sifting and pruning are painful for a pastor. Nonetheless, as I'll show you, these times, as excruciating as they are actually healthy and necessary for a church to grow larger and to bear greater fruit. Jesus said this in John 15:2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit is taken away, he taketh it away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it or prunes it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now, it's not unusual for a pastor during pruning or sifting times to take it personally. After all, you hear all the comments about not being fed, the church is now on the wrong track, he's not taking me deeper, and a whole host of other hurtful but common phrases. But I assure you, after 30 plus years of ministry, I've learned that it's rarely, if ever, personal. Of course, the pastor feels the pain of people leaving. It's because he loves the flock and has no greater joy than to know they're walking in the truth. As John said in 1 John 1:4, he said, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. When a sifting occurs, it's often the people you'd least expect. For example, a couple's been praying for their family to come to Christ. And when the family finally comes to Christ, the couple leaves the church. A once faithful board member or support team member walks out the door, filled with accusations, and you wonder how many others they've influenced along the way. The problem is, truth is usually lacking in most sifting times. I believe it was a Concordia study several years ago that revealed something that opened my eyes as a pastor. It said when people leave a good church, it's almost never for the reasons they say. It is, over 95% of the time, some sin or family struggle they're embarrassed over or afraid of being exposed, so they leave the church. Pastor, you don't want everybody in your church. You want the right people in your church, the ones God Himself has added to your expression of Christ's body. What a lesson. If people leave the flock, it's an indication that they don't accept you as their shepherd. And by the time of my 4th year as pastor, our church had grown from 226 to around 1,200. The people who helped me lead the church when it was smaller became threatened by the growth. And I noticed more grumbling, rebellion, contention, and nervousness among them. They started inviting people over to their homes and injecting their fears into the new members. But I wouldn't budge on what God had put in my heart, even though the original leaders disagreed. Well, finally, there was a mass exodus, 100 souls left in a matter of a few months. Talk about painful, it hurt. There were rumors and innuendos left behind that we had to deal with, yet after they departed, I noticed something special. Peace in the church. Young leaders submitting to the order and the passion of the vision began rising up. The church launched off the 1,200 plateau, and within 2 years had more than doubled to over 2,800 worshipers. Income increased, enthusiasm flourished. Now, I'll admit, I did become a bit hardened, I think. It hit me hardest about 6 months after that big sifting. I was still dealing with the emotions and feeling guilty that I didn't try to persuade them to stay, but in retrospect, I know it would have been detrimental to the growth of our church if they did remain. When individuals develop an attitude of superiority, a spirit of rebellion, or when they're harboring some secret sin, it's better to let them go. It's probably God performing His wonderful but painful pruning process on the church. But what does a pastor do during these pruning times? First, on a personal level, keep pressing into God and His Word. 2, keep hearing from God. He still speaks. And 3, know that God is about to bring you to a whole new level. And 4, hang on to this. God knows something about it you don't know. Number 5, never quit without a clear instruction from the Lord. People need to see you as solid, durable, and lasting. And on a corporate church level, assure the people that sifting is a normal process. Jesus always spoke in agricultural terms: planting, maturing, harvesting, and pruning or sifting. Number 2, keep casting vision in faith, even when you don't feel like it or see evidence of your vision coming to pass. That's real faith, Hebrews 11, 1-3. And number 3, always speak the truth kindly. People will remind you they were good people. Well, maybe they were, but not usually. Yet they weren't the right people. God is helping you get the wrong people off the ship and the right people on the ship so your church can have a great advancement forward. But number 4, always radiate warmth. Build bridges and focus, not on the ones that left, but on the team God is now raising up for you. And 5, under no circumstances accept back into leadership the people who left if they return without a long period of probation and watching them closely. Number 6, know that God is building His church and He's entrusted you to have a great leadership role in the building. And number 7, keep winning the lost and equipping believers and never stop. We've experienced siftings and prunings over the years since that first one. They've always been painful, yet productive. I'm glad I never quit. Since that first sifting, we've planted 543 new churches in America, Africa, and Asia, and now enjoy over 100,000 members here and in our daughter and satellite churches. Sifting is a good thing after all. I'm Dave Williams with the Pastor's Coach. Thanks for joining me today.
Dave Williams is the award-winning author of the book and course, The Art of Pace-Setting Leadership. For more pastoral and leadership resources, visit us at davewilliams.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and be sure to join us for the next Pastor's Coach Update.